Hi everyone, I'm Danielle Byington, and in this Dante video on the Inferno, we're going to be talking about Canto 3. So in Canto 3, we are like, we're kind of in hell, we're kind of not. We are at the entrance and we are walking through the gate, and then we need a boat ride across the river, a ferry ride, to actually get into what is considered hell in Dante's Inferno. So, very famous line from the sign above the gate: abandon all hope, ye who enter here. You have different translations of that all come out to equal something about, if you enter here, like this is all despair and pain and suffering. There's nothing good about entering here. That's the famous part of the words on the sign. The words, if you look actually at the first lines of Canto 3, there are 9 lines described as being on this sign above the gate to hell. So, right here in this part of hell that isn't quite hell, the entrance to hell, we have what are sometimes referred to as neutral angels. So you have neutral angels. So so when there was the Civil War in heaven in Christian mythology, it's the angels who were neither for Satan or for God. They just like didn't pick a side. So they are still eternally punished, but not sent to hell. They're on this outside part, but you see that it's not a very pretty place. This is also sinners who are, some translations use the word opportunist. So it's people who were not for good or for evil. Maybe they led like pretty fairly more moral lives, but they mostly just looked out for themselves instead of, the love thy neighbor, help people when there's like a catastrophic flood. And also they were not the people like looting homes or just taking advantage of people. So that there's still a type of punishment going on. It's this group of people here outside of hell, but through the gate, they are chasing a banner. So there's always like this banner blowing in the wind, and have been cursed. They have been damned to compulsively chase that banner for all eternity. So it's kind of like how a cat can't help itself but to chase a ribbon or something kind of like a string on a cat toy, right? They compulsively do it. They can't stop themselves from doing it. And not only do they ever like not catch it, the whole time they're chasing it, it tells you that they are being stung by hornets and wasps. And these sores from the stings ooze this nasty mucus from their skin, from their body. And then there are maggots under their feet that feed on that. Yeah, it's not a place you want to be, right? It's not very pretty. So, the other major part of Canto 3 here is that we are crossing a river. We are crossing the Acheron, and the ferryman, this is a very famous figure from mythology, who is the person who drives the souls across this river. So you have pronunciations of Charon or Charon. So Charon, the ferryman, is going to take Virgil and Dante across, so Virgil can continue this guide position that he's doing for Virgil to take him through hell. They have a little bit of a dispute with Charon at first, and then Virgil's like, no, no, this is like a divine mission he has to do. Here are the papers. I have proof that he has to do. That's not really any papers, but Charon understands like, who Virgil is and agrees like to let Dante on the boat and to do this. This is an important thing to note here because all that talk of like in the Iliad and the Aeneid that I've talked about in some of my other videos, it was so important in the ancient world to have proper burial rites, proper funeral rites, whatever the custom might be. a funeral pyre, what have you. Often that meant in some regions, the practice would have been to place coins on the eyes. In some practices, it was to place a coin in the mouth. And so the deceased can pay Charon, the ferryman, to ferry them across the Acheron. In some traditions, it's this river Styx. That's probably one you've heard more about if you've heard of this part of the description in mythology. Um, so that's why Charon is you see how he's kind of aggressive about anybody just getting on the boat. It goes on to tell you. So first, when he gives Virgil and Dante a little bit of trouble and is like, no, who are you? You can't cross. Then it goes on to tell us in this translation I'm using, the demon Charon, with eyes evermore aglow, makes signals, gathering them all, talking about all those souls, those people who were, the people chasing the banner for all eternity and being stung by wasps and hornets. They still keep trying to cross the river and they can't, because this is their curse to stay there. It's not even really about the proper funeral rites. Those people are stuck there too with the people chasing the banner for all eternity. And whoso lingers smiteth with his oar. So they're like trying to get on his ferry, and he's whacking them with the oar of his from his ferry boat. So he goes through this for all eternity, trying to prevent people from crossing who aren't supposed to cross. So the unwritten rule of the proper funeral rites is all part of what you're reading about happening right there in Canto 3. So this canto ends with, I mean, I think I would have passed out already at the part about the people being stung and their mucus feeding all the maggots on the ground. But finally, Dante, this is one of the few times he passes out in the Inferno because it's just too much. Um, he is kind of knocked out by a wind and earthquake, and from that sensation and the storm of all the sounds and the welling of pain, he passes out. And then he's going to wake up when they are on the other side of the river, and then they're actually in hell by that point. Okay, that's all for Canto 3. Thank you for watching.